Welcome back, everyone. Time for us to go behind the headlines, where we are sad to report that billionaire marijuana legalization funder Peter Lews has died at the age of 80. He was the founder of Progressive Insurance and a philanthropist. He passed away just 12 days after his 80th birthday. Mr. Lews apparently died of natural causes, said Jennifer Frucci, Mr. Lewis's philanthropic advisor, as was reported in the Cleveland Plain Dealer. Mr. Lews built his fortune, estimated to be around $1 billion at the time of his death, when he and his mother borrowed $2.5 million to buy out the company he was working for, then known as Progressive Mutual Insurance Company of Mayfield, Ohio, a small insurance firm with just 100 employees in 1965. Now, Progressive is the fourth largest auto insurer in the United States, with over 26,000 employees. Known for the iconic advertising character Mr. Lews loved, the headband-wearing customer service rep Flo that helped make Progressive a household name. It is estimated over Mr. Lewis's lifetime, he gave $500 million away to causes that included his alma mater, Princeton University, museums, art institutes, and political campaigns. But here at 420 Radio, we'll always be most grateful for Mr. Lewis's generosity in funding the successful campaigns for marijuana reform, beginning with funds he donated for signature gatherers for California's Prop 215 to become the first medical marijuana state, continuing with donations that provided the majority of the funding to the Marijuana Policy Project, and culminating in his donations to Colorado's Amendment 64 and his majority funding of Washington's Initiative 502 to become the first two legal marijuana states. Lawyer Graham Boyd, Peter Lewis's political strategist and friend, said, quote, "The role that Peter has played in marijuana reform is that of leading this movement to the very brink of success. We've won two important states, and I think just in the very near future, there's going to be a cascade of victories that will be attributable to him, and I do wish he had lived to see that success." End quote. Peter Lews was born on November 11th, 1933 in Cleveland, and passed away at his home in Coconut Grove, Florida on Saturday afternoon. His initial experience with marijuana began in 1972, but he began using more regularly in 1998 to help treat pain he suffered after a partial leg amputation following an infection. In 2000, Mr. Lews was jailed in New Zealand when airport drug dogs detected marijuana in his luggage. Up to his death, Mr. Lews was fighting marijuana prohibition, recently donating money to the New Approach Oregon campaign to legalize marijuana in 2014. In an interview with Forbes magazine just 2 years ago, Mr. Lews said, quote, "Our marijuana laws are outdated, ineffective, and stupid. I don't believe laws against things people do regularly, like safe and responsible use of marijuana, make any sense." End quote. Neither do we, Mr. Lews. Thank you for putting a whole lot of money where your mouth is, and may you rest in peace. Peter Lews, 1933 to 2013. And it may be impossible to overstate how much importance Peter Lews, between him, George Soros, and George Zimmer from the Men's Warehouse, not George Zimmerman, if you saw that Saturday Night Live skit. It's rather funny. But George Zimmer from Men's Warehouse were all major funders of the initial signature drive that got Prop 215 passed in California. And as we all know, that was the crack in the wall of ignorance. That was the beginning of the fall of the Berlin Wall of Prohibition. And throughout his lifetime, he continued to fund Marijuana Policy Project, the various arms of Marijuana Policy Project that were funding statewide initiatives for legalization in Alaska and in Colorado, and trying to get marijuana, medical marijuana passed in various states and succeeding in most of the states that they tried in. It's just a huge loss to our community. And we have yet to see how his estate will be divided, how that may translate into future funding of marijuana legalization causes. It's my belief he's probably left something for us to continue our mission. And I just want to thank him so much for, standing up for our liberty, standing up for the marijuana users, and when it wasn't always popular to do so. Thank you, Peter Lews, for everything. I would think it only appropriate to celebrate and remember the freedom that we have gained in this state and others and across the world with some Cindy 99. Be back in a minute.
Oh, have you ever met that funny reefer man? A reefer man. Have you ever met that funny reefer man?